Christensen, Captain Michaela Jurcic, Kendra Smith and Akeisha Sandu. Isabella Seward and Ayano Koizumi will start ahead of the back four. Paige Kingston-Hogg will start in the number 10 position with Grace Marr on the left and Bronte Peel on the right. And the league leading goal scorer, Kelly McGrorty, will lead the line for the Royals. Kelly, who has scored a swag of goals this season but was kept incredibly quiet in the Royals quarter-final against Alamein. Our referee in the middle is Lucas Benicia. Our assistants, Zamzan Kassab and Zamzan Kassab and Michaela Kassab, and the fourth official is Gabriel Maroulis. FC Bulleen Lions looking to qualify for another Nike FC Cup final. They were dumped in the semis last year here at home when Nikki Furukawa scored in second half stoppage time in the shirt of South Melbourne to eliminate Bulleen Lions. And Nikki starts on the bench for Bulleen tonight, and the Essendon Royals on the cusp potentially of one of their biggest matches in their women's football side's history. FC Bulleen Lions in the all-maroon and the Royals in the away strip this evening, and so a huge clash coming up here tonight, Sven, between two teams that will have hopes of a silverware sweep this season, but one of those teams, that dream will die tonight.
You're exactly right, Brent, and what a game we have before us this evening. Two wonderful outfits who have been dominating the NPLW this season, but sadly for one of them, their night will come to an end in the Nike FC Cup. I'm feeling, with all the watching and seeing what's been going on recently with both these clubs, I think I wouldn't be shocked if this went to penalties. I think we're going to be here for a long night, and it'd be really interesting to see if the battle of the two strikers, Maya Markovsky, who's been in wonderful form, and Kelly McGrorty. It's going to be wonderful, and can't wait for the next 90 minutes to play out, Brent.
We mentioned the two recent results on the weekend. Bulleen drawing away from home 2-2 against Preston. It was the first time this season that they've dropped points, Bulleen. The last team, I should say, to drop points in the league season. Akeisha Sandu takes a tumble on the ball and taken away by Renahan. And Bulleen in possession, really, for the first time tonight. Stepping in well there was Bella Sewards, who, of course, scored that penalty in that very nerve-wracking night at the home of the Matildas a couple of weeks ago. Both of these teams doing ever so well to progress. Of course, Bulleen went to Wembley Park in the quarterfinals, and a match that finished 3-3 after 120 minutes. Tiffany Aliadis with a goal in the 121st minute. There was 1 minute of stoppage time added on to the end of that second half period of extra time. Tiffany Aliadis scoring the goal. She would not have scored too many more dramatic goals in her career. She couldn't have possibly scored a later goal, and that was just to save their bacon and get them into a penalty shootout, where, of course, we went to sudden deaths, and Alyssa Deloste eventually making that save and denying Box Hill United's Peel-teen. And these two teams right at the top of the table. Bulleen in second and Essendon in third. Of course, Box Hill United currently on top. It's all very congested at the top of the NPLW Victoria table. But tonight is a night for knockout football. It's Cortolino in possession here for Bulleen. Their first real thrust forward of the evening. So slippery, Alana Cortolino. Bomford's cross doesn't quite reach Markovsky. Might be able to get control of the second ball here. Header up and down. Koizumi's attempted clearance and then helped further afield by Kendra Smith. Here's McGrorty for the first time tonight, tangling with a couple in the maroon shirts. Of course, they would have been preparing for the threat of Kelly McGrorty tonight. Svan, when these teams first played earlier this season here at the Veneto Club, Kelly was absent. That was the game that she served in suspension. But it's interesting to have a look over the field and see which of the two great strikers can have their say on this match. Obviously, Kelly for the Royals, who's in her first season here in Australia, and Maya Markovsky, who's a known quantity up top for Bulleen.
Brent, Maya Markovsky currently carrying a little bit of an injury, and I think it's really impacted her last few weeks of the season in goal scoring. But her goal assists, if you look at the assist that she's been providing, particularly to Danny Buttress. It's been outstanding. And Kelly had a little bit of a dry spell there, but she's back scoring goals at will. And I think both of them will be dominant players, and we will see goals from both of them. But I think as we see the ball going forward now for Bulleen.
Markovsky trying to play in Ashley Jordan. Turned away by the right back for Essendon, Amy Parkinson. Jordan did score Bulleen's first goal on Friday night. She's sort of been in and out of the starting 11 this season. Has Ashley Jordan, the 24-year-old, 4 goals in this campaign, 3 of them in the league. These two teams have already had their 2 meetings in the league this season, Bulleen getting the better of Essendon on both occasions. So how can the Royals make sure that this game doesn't follow that same script, Van?
I think without doubt they've probably turned up and received a little bit of a gift, not having Sarah Kane out there. Sarah Kane and Bomford is such wonderful duo in the middle for Bulleen, and Sarah Kane not playing away and unable to play is... very disappointing, I'd say, for Katie Friend and her staff for FC Bulleen. But I think Jaden and his team for Essendon Royals would have thought that's a gift early.
Alana Cortolino looking dangerous again down the right-hand side. She's been able to win the game's first corner kick. And Bulleen, who their first goal in the quarter-final against Box Hill United did come by way of the set piece. Claudia Mijicic, who wears the captain's armband tonight in place of Sarah Kane. She was the one that scored the first goal in that quarter-final. This goes looking for Markovsky, who flicks on the header, and somehow Sophie Dean is unable to keep it out. And Maya Markovsky, her first goal in the Cup campaign this season, and Bulleen off to a roaring start in the semi-final.
Brent, I think we may find that Maya Markovsky, another assist. I think it was actually knocked in by the captain, Claudia Mijicic. Be interesting to look back on our replay in a second or two.
Well, we'll go to our stats people and have a look. In any case, Bulleen have taken the early lead. Essendon Royals, who have had most of the possession through these first 6 minutes. And Bulleen hit them where it hurts. And no doubt there would be a bit of a psychological edge to overcome as well for the Royals, having been beaten twice in the league this season by Bulleen. It was a 3-1 victory here earlier this season at the Veneto Club. That was the match in which Kelly McGrawdy was suspended, and then the second match-up was only a few weeks ago, a 2-1 victory away for Bulleen at the Cross Keys. One corner kick, 1 goal. On the turn here, Bronte Peel onside. Peel's cross doesn't quite reach Kelly McGrawdy, away by Eliadis, who has started in the heart of the Bulleen back 4. Jordan pouncing on the Kendra Smith error here. Not receive it back from Cortolino. Kendra Smith working the angles well. One of the best centre-backs in all of the NPLW Victoria, Kendra Smith, the New Zealander.
Brent, a goal this early in a cup game, particularly a significant game like a semi-final, just settles the nerves, and it just forces Essendon Royals now to play a bit more aggressively, which will open up pockets for the like of Cortolino, Buttress and Markovsky. So they'll be having to be a little bit careful, Royals, that they don't leave the back door open.
Here's Kelly McGrawdy looking to get the Royals back on a level playing field and just dragging that shot wide. And Teloste watching that one go wide of the target. Kelly McGrawdy, who's been such a terrific addition to the Essendon Royals and to the league this season. I mean, obviously she's scored all of those goals and has helped propel the Essendon Royals to the top of the table, but she's been a great addition to the Royals Football Club and the community. I know a lot of the young players absolutely love her. You see her walking out each weekend with 2 or 3 mascots hanging off her. And she has spoken about her ambitions to potentially catch the eye of the recruiters in the A-League Women's. I'll tell you what, the season that she's had so far certainly hasn't done those ambitions any harm, Sven.
No, and I think as social media gives everyone a bit of a giggle as we see Bronte Peel pressing forward here.
Started lively on the right wing for Essendon. Miocic takes a tumble, and our referee calls for the foul.
With a lot of experience in both these squads, Brent, I don't think there'll be any panic by Essendon Royals at all, but I think they'll play a little bit more aggressively. And as I said, I think that'll enable the quick players up front for Bulleen to maybe capitalise. And the second goal in this first half would be a real hammer blow for Essendon Royals. But listen, with the likes of McGroarty, Bronte Peel, anything is possible.
Those two linking up again. Peel's initial cross there. Koizumi, the offside flag is up. But I tell you what, despite going down that early goal, they are the team that has done really all of the attacking, the Royals, bar for one little or a couple of little thrusts forward from Cortolino and that one corner kick that they conceded.
Well, there's an amazing stat. Last year was 72% of all goals that came from corners were balls pumped into the 6-yard box, and this year it's actually gone up. It's 78%. So, again, Bulleen have utilised that tactic to score, which is not too dissimilar to how Heidelberg United scored last night versus South Melbourne to get the win. So these dead ball situations are very productive.
Here is Cortolino getting on the end of the long ball. Sandu comes over to dispossess her. It sets up for Olivia Bomford, saved initially by Dean, and then it's fired in at the second time of asking, and there's no doubt about this one. Maya Markovski scores. She's got an assist and a goal now through barely 10 minutes. And the Essendon Royals are facing a long way back into this semi-final.
A wonderful finish by Markovski, and that's what you would expect for someone with her talent and class, the experience of playing in the A-League. She's a wonderful... We talked about Kelly McGroarty having a big following with young footballers at Essendon Royals. Well, Maya Markovski's got a massive following throughout NPLW. It doesn't matter what club, everyone adores her, and what a great finish. And again, it's the pace of Bulleen with Cortolino and Buttress, and every time the midfielders for Bulleen can look to play beyond, they do, and no defender likes running and facing goals, and sadly for Royals, that's what happened.
So early goals here for Claudia Miocic and Maya Markovski. Markovski's 20th goal of the season, first in the Cup. You mentioned that she's had a lot of assists as well this season, Markovski. 4 in the league. The Royals from the long throw in. Kingston Hogg bounces in front of Alyssa Deloste, but she's an experienced and accomplished goalkeeper, Deloste. Can't say she's been beaten too many times by balls like that of just bouncing in front of her. On the synthetic pitches as well, you often get the bounces that are a bit easier to read maybe than the grass pitches that can be a little bit chopped up this time of year. Bulleen in possession again. Bomford loses out to Sewards. Mars ball, Kelly McGroarty. How on earth has she gotten this much space on the edge of the 18-yard box? Kelly McGroarty off the crossbar, bounces back into the field of play. Bronte Peel trying to find the angle. Lays it off for Grace Maher. The cutback. It's on the line. It's turned in. It's an own goal. 3 goals in 13 minutes in this Cup semi-final. And the Royals have thrown a lifeline. I think the last touch may have come off Tiffany Eliadis. And the Royals probably have the goal that they have deserved. Done so much of the attacking through the first quarter hour. And you said pre-game, Sven, that we were going to have goals tonight. We've had 3 in 13 minutes.
Brent, to be fair, how Kelly McGroarty found herself one-on-one with the Bulleen captain was, to me, a bit of a shock. Normally there's a +1 with your rest defence. There wasn't. And she's had the shot, good save by Alyssa Delos. But Bronte Peel, ever industrious, worked hard, fired the ball low and hard across the top of the 6-yard box, and unfortunately for Tiff Aliadis, she's scored an own goal. Game on here, Brent.
I've loved the start of Bronte Peel on the right wing for Essendon. She scored a brace in the semi-final of the Cup last year for Heidelberg United. And here she is again on the end of the pass from Sewards. Drives it in low. Turned away by Miocic. McGrawdy shut down initially. Sewards, who doesn't mind having a pop from distance. Back out for Bronte Peel. Again, the first-time delivery. Miocic clears only as far as Bronte Peel, who's in a one-on-one running battle with Garon. Sewards the chip. Right, had Deloste worried for a moment. It nestles on the top of the net for the Royals. Who would have thought that they had gone down 2-0? They are a football team with amnesia tonight, Sven.
Just wonderful work by Bronte Peel on the commentary side of the pitch as we see Cordolino one-on-one with Keisha Sandhu.
End-to-end action in the semi-final. Cordolino able to dig in the cross. Buttress on the turn. Still Danny Buttress a chance. Away by Sewards. Koizumi. Not much of a clearance there. Hectic, frantic start to this Cup semi-final. Jordan's leaping header was only glancing. Buttress chases this one down. The dangerous Danny Buttress on the edge of the penalty area. Takes a bit of a tumble. The referee waves it away emphatically. It'll be a throw-in.
No, just back on Bronte Peel. What makes Bronte so dangerous? Her crosses 95% of the time are low and hard along the ground, and no one wants to defend those. The high ones, Alyssa DeLoss with her class, she's going to capture those every time. So Bronte Peel firing them along the ground makes it really hard to defend. And at the minute, Brent, seems to be it's nearly basketball. It's going from end to end and not a lot of defensive work.
We've had 3 goals already. We've had an effort from Kelly McGrawdy that jangled the frame of the goal. Renahan's cross puts it into a dangerous spot. Had to be perfectly communicated there between Jurcic and Sophie Dean. So Zara Board, who made those 2 saves in that shootout, Svenny, you were a little bit surprised that she hasn't been given the nod tonight?
Listen, it's hard for me to actually make a comment because I was lucky enough to be at Heidelberg when Sophie Den was at Heidelberg, and we always rated her incredibly highly. Maybe I would say Sophie's use of the ball via feet is outstanding, and maybe Jaden and his team wanted exactly what we're seeing here. More composure on the ball. This is the first time we've seen a bit of tempo step into the game, and it's probably great to see because before, as I said, it was end to end.
Jurcic lofting that long ball forward. Aliadis, interesting to see how she responds. I can imagine she'd have some mental demons after that attempted goal line clearance going into the back of her own net. Bronte Peel in the picture again here. I did notice when these 2 teams played in the league only a couple of weeks ago that Bulleen pressed hard and pressed high, and that was something that the Royals really struggled with. They are a team that love to play out from the back, and so perhaps that's a change that Jaden van der Heijden and the Royals coaches may be seen fit as Ma picks up on the error. We'll put that down to an attempted pass, I think, as the Bulleen defence is able to clear with Kelly McGrawty looming large. FC Bulleen Lions 2, Essendon Royals 1. McGrawty is able to dig out a clever cross right across the top of the box. Koizumi, one to watch in midfield tonight. Ayano Koizumi, Japanese player, tremendous skill and guile in the midfield. Sewards, able to pick the gaps, but delivered there brilliantly from Peel, who receives again from Parkinson. She attempted to shoot here, Bronte Peel. The deflection wickedly falls for Markovski, who's off and running. Cortolino, who's been a terrier down the right-hand flank already for Bulleen tonight. Jordan makes a run into the area. Cortolino and Sandhu. Cortolino unable to get a pass to trouble the Essendon defence, and it's gobbled up by Sophie Dean.
it'd be interesting, Brent, to see if both defences work as hard as they possibly can not to give away corners, because corners have been the catalyst for most goals.
McGrorty plays in Bronte Peel. Bronte's onside and just lashes the shot across the face. McGrorty goes down right on the edge of the box. The ball came back to her fortuitously, and the ensuing shot was blocked by the defender. Took all the sting off it for Deloste. McGrorty turns back to our referee Lucas Benici and just complaining why there wasn't a foul there. Play on the call.
I think Lucas is an outstanding referee and good decision.
Look out, Danny Buttress. Oh, Sophie Dean, a long way off the line. Just able to get there first. Picked up by Kingston Hogg, who pickpocketed Ava Brightus, and Kelly McGrorty wasn't able to keep herself onside. But both teams making a lot of errors in midfield that are ending up in offensive chances for either side.
No, I think Bulleen was saved by a really good decision by AR2, Michaela Kassab. Kelly just pushing offside marginally, but you're right, there was a bit of tempo football from the Royals there a few minutes ago, but no, the ball's ping-ponging around in here. Again, it's been turned over by Ava Brightus in a dangerous position.
Koizumi for Kingston Hogg, and now Parkinson. Errant pass back in towards the middle of the pitch. Played forward by Olivia Bomford. Brought down nicely by Cortolino. It's Markovski again. Left foot cross. Header from Parkinson, but here comes Bomford, who loves to strike from distance. And indeed did strike and score from distance in that quarter-final against Box Hill United. That one just curling wide of the goal frame.
She's ever the threat, Olivia Bomford, and I think as much as she'll miss her strike partner in the midfield, Sarah Kane, she won't hold back from taking shots from range, because she's very good at it. Hits them well with both feet, which is a rare thing in this competition.
Grace Marr for Essendon. Not quite on the same page there as Bella Sewards. The other big news for the Royals in terms of their squad is Maggie Jenkins is back. She's on the bench tonight. Some people here at the ground a little bit surprised that she wasn't in the starting 11, but some goal-scoring power to bring into the match in the second half if need be.
I'm actually absolutely shocked, Brent, that she's not starting. I think she's an amazing talent, and recently called up to play with the New Zealand women's national team. That's how high she's rated, and what a player to come off the bench. I'm not too sure there's been too many in a Nike FC Cup semi-final better than her talent.
Here's the high pressing again for Bulleen. Jordan and Markovski minding her own business at the top of the box. Dancing on the football. The dangerous Danny Butcherus. First time cross is a beauty in towards the back post. If Cortolino wasn't 5'1", she might have been able to get something on that. Send it on target, or at least back across the area. In knockout cup football, where it's straight elimination, it is important that you get your substitutions right. So I'd imagine that we will see Maggie Jenkins at some stage in the second half, regardless of what the scoreline says at the time. Oh, heavy fall there in midfield. That was Ava Brightus, and Sewards is on her way forward for the Royals. Killing one in behind the Bulleen defence. Grace Marr has to chase. Cross in looking for McGrorty, away by Miocic. They'll be able to sustain the attack here, the Royals. Marr, Koizumi, unable to keep it alive, and rounded up by Tiffany Aliadis. 23 minutes gone here in this Nike FC Cup semi-final. FC Bulleen Lions 2, Essendon Royals 1. Brent Sternberg and Sven Samuel here with you. We're watching the dazzling skills of Kelly McGrorty. Parkinson. And returning from an offside position was Bronte Peel, and I think she knew it.
Kelly McGrorty's work rate there to come back as a 9, as you know, premier striker in the competition, to work that hard back to help her defenders says a lot about the quality of the person and the player, and what a work rate. It's fantastic.
Long ball forward for Bulleen, looking to recruit the run of Danny Butcherus. Parkinson looking for some help. Dean has to come off the line to clear. Conceding a throw in. It's going to be a long night for Amy Parkinson on this right-hand side. For Essendon going up against Danny Butcherus, who has been used sparingly, Danny, since returning from her A-League women's duties with Melbourne City.
Even now, Brent, she's reaching down to that right knee, so hopefully she's all right.
Koizumi and Bomford tangling. Royals back in possession. Long ball from Ma. Bronte Peel unable to gain control with the first touch. And just on Danny Butcherus, she's made 5 appearances since coming back to play for Bulleen, but only 1 start. Already scored 4 goals, though. She's actually come off the bench in each of the last 2 league matches to score. Against Preston on Friday night and the week before, away to Kingston Heath to Bentley. Here is Danny Butcherus. Fouled by Ayano Koizumi. As we just keep an eye on Danny picking herself up here. Doesn't look to be moving at 100%.
I think all 4 of Essendon Royals' defensive unit there at the back would be very nervous diving into any challenge or any motion with the speed of Cortolino. Also Jordan, Butcherus and Markowski. It is fairly fierce up the front there for speed, and as we know in all sport nowadays, speed is such a weapon, and Bulleen have it in spades.
Brightus calling for the throw in here. Yeah, Butcherus, Markowski, Jordan and Cortolino. You said fierce there. We'll call it the fearsome foursome, hey?
Listen, they are just quality footballers, and it's great to have that calibre of player playing in our competition, because Football Victoria's NPLW, I just rate it so highly, and you have to be a good player to play in this competition, and the class of those 4 is outstanding.
It says a lot about the culture that they've built here at Bulleen and their women's program, that these players want to continue to come back and play for Bulleen. Obviously, Danny's been coming back the last couple of seasons. Maya Markowski as well here. Lovely little back heel. Unable to get under the shot there was Brightus. Butcherus's speed is able to keep this attack alive here for Bulleen. Hunting a 3rd goal. Bomford. Jordan, I think, trying to play the run there and not on the same page again. You'll have to go a long way around the countryside in the NPL women's leagues across all the different states to find a better attacking 4 than the 4 players that we just mentioned. And here is one of them. What a ball in behind. Cortolino, the cutback. Danny Butcherus! Denied by the frame of the goal. And both teams have jangled the frame of the goal here tonight. Garon's ball across the top of the box. Markowski retrieving, bouncing off Ballasilids. Cortolino still recovering from that last lung-busting run forward. Retrieves it on the byline. Cross in. Bomford's unable to bring it down. But another little warning shot fired there by Danny Butcherus and this Bulleen attacking front 4.
Just the power of that shot just really rocked the goal and the net there. It was fantastic, and Sophie Den was in the perfect position, but it whizzed past her, and luckily for Essendon Royals and Coach Jaden, ball didn't go in the net. Great crowd building up here now, Brent. A lot of the juniors arriving, and perfect night. No rain, not too much wind about.
Not too chilly. We've certainly called many games here across the past few years where it's been bitterly cold. Of course, we had that weekend a couple of weekends ago where we had every ground encased by the fog. At least we can see the other side of the pitch tonight, which is a real relief.
No, it's good. And quite a few Chenol NPLW players here watching the game, so there's a lot of interest, which is fantastic, and it's great to see female footballers supporting each other. I don't think we see that enough, and it's wonderful to have them all here tonight.
Yes, there may or may not be a handful of ladies from the Heidelberg United Football Club. Just having a look here to see who they're going to play in the finals. Markovski onto the loose ball. And just slashing that shot wide. Oh, how wonderful it must be to know that you're in the big games, Van, and just come here tonight, tuck into your hot chippies, put your feet up and just watch these two great teams battle it out.
Listen, I think... you want to test yourself against the best, and I know Box Hill were a bit stiff last week, or in the quarterfinal, not to get through. But these are two wonderful teams, and that's who you want to test yourself against, the best players in the competition. And you talk about players like Kelly wanting to play higher up in the A-League or whatsoever. I think all these players have those ambitions, and whether it's John O'Clementi at Melbourne Victory or Marcus out at Melbourne City, looking around to see what are the next lot of players coming up underneath. They'll be watching the semi-finals and the final because, traditionally that's where the best players are playing in those big games. And someone may take that moment and raise, a cheeky text message with come down and have a trial, and you never know where that may go to.
Set piece situation here for Bulleen. Buttress and Markovski standing guard. It's going to be Markovski from distance, and it's taken a touch off someone in the wall there, I think, and just inches wide of Sophie Dean's far post. Behind for another Bulleen corner kick.
That was hit with real venom and power, and we may have not seen that the past few weeks from Maya Markovski due to her injury. So hopefully that right knee's getting better, because that was a cracking shot.
All hands to the defensive pump here for Essendon. Ball into the fringes of the 6-yard box. Away by Smith. Buttress and Cordellino trying to keep possession here for Bulleen. Garon back out to the corner taker here in Bomford. Loses possession. Maybe a chance here for the Royals to spring forward. Bronte Peel. It's gone quiet in the last 5 or 6 minutes after a sprightly opening 25 or so.
I think we were a little bit spoilt, both ourselves here at the ground and also the viewers on the Football Victoria YouTube channel. 3 goals in 13 minutes. It feels like the last 19 minutes have dragged a little bit, which is not true at all. But, wow, those opening 13 minutes were...
breathtaking, wasn't
fantastic,
it? Really? Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's funny because, these big games in the pointy end of the Knockout Cup competitions, they can often be cagey, can't they? As Kingston Hogg asking for the foul. No call forthcoming in the first quarter hour here at the Veneto Club. Anything but cagey. These two great teams in women's football here in Victoria, throwing haymakers at one another. Poor giveaway there from Parkinson. Jordan. Markovski once again straying into an offside position. Of course, Bulleen for a long time now have been one of the standard setting teams, I suppose, in women's football. Royals have they've had a women's program for a long time, but they've only sort of just resurfaced these past 3 or 4 years in the top division, and I don't think too many people coming into the season might have tipped them as a genuine title contender in the league, but they've certainly morphed into that over the last couple of months. Of course, you get these American players like Kelly McGrady out of the collegiate system. You never quite know what you're going to get with those players and how they're going to acclimatise to football here in Victoria. Swivelling forward, Danny Buttress, dazzling everybody here in the terraces at the Veneto Club. Still it's FC Bulleen Lions 2, Essendon Royals 1. Things have settled down a little bit in the last 10 minutes or so.
I would say though, Brent, last year Essendon Royals finished 4th, and I think every year your programs build, and as you say, if you can luck in with whether it's Japanese visa players or American visa players, you only have to get that right. That's 4 players. That's nearly a third of your team, or more than a third of your team, and it makes such a dramatic difference. And they've done extremely well at Cross Keys this year, Essendon Royals.
Sandu and Cortolino battling again.
You could edit these before Friday.
Going behind for a goal kick. Yeah, their third season in the top flight. They have played finals in their first 2 seasons in the top division. Yet to get over the line, but you have to imagine that will change this season. Of course, we're going with a top 6 in the finals this season. It's been a top 4 the past few years. So Kelly McGrawdy latches on outside of the boot. Tremendous pass, and hands just done enough to keep that one away from Grace Maher. Essendon plotting this equalising goal. Down goes Grace Maher in the area. No illegal contact made. Cortolino blasting it forward. Markovski was up there somewhere. Here is Kingston Hogg on the turn, running into a maroon brick wall, and it's just able to run all the way through for Deloste. The referee just calling a halt to proceedings here as Kingston Hogg might have just copped one in the solar plexus.
I think what Essendon have also done extremely well, picking up the likes of Akeisha Sandu, Bronte Peel. So they've looked to what's available in the so-called market and gone there and added to their depth. And that's the thing. It's a long season. And if you do get injuries, we were speaking to Tom Markovski just prior to the broadcast, and his Spring Hills team have been absolutely undone by injuries. And if you have a deep squad, it just can make such a difference. And both these clubs have deep squads, and clubs have to invest. They've invested wisely, and they're being rewarded. So hats off to them.
Jordan and Bridus trying to run straight through Michaela Jurcic, who steps in and wins it back. It's back with Kingston Hogg, who's recovered from that knock just a moment ago. Bulleen 13 wins, 2 draws and 4 losses in the league. Essendon 12 wins, 2 draws and 5 losses. 2 teams right at the pointy end of the table. Sandu getting forward. Ma. Now Koizumi. Long range cross. It's a beauty. Controlled well by Bronte Peel. She's got a runner in. Parkinson. She's able to hit it first time. Away by Miocic. Sits up for Koizumi. Hit it pretty well on the volley, but the shot blocked by the Bulleen defenders lining up on the edge of the box.
I think what Essendon Royals did really well last season, and they've done it again this season, is make Cross Keys a real fortress, somewhere where you don't want to go and play. And this year, the difference is they've won away, and that was what's taking them from 4th on the ladder to those few spots higher, because winning games away just tops up, and they've done extremely well.
Here's Johnny Grace-Garron retreating in a running battle there with Bronte Peel again. Where's the toughest ground to go and get the 3 points in the NPLW Victoria nowadays, Sven?
Well,
Olympic Village?
No. It's a really interesting question, because there's a few different answers for some different reasons.
Right.
Friday night, 6:15 versus either Preston or Bentley Greens is a real nightmare for these young players and wonderful female players, as we see Markovski driving into the box.
She's able to stay on side this time, Markovski. Koizumi had a couple of nibbles. Markovski stays on her feet and wasn't able to find Cortolino, who was there waiting at the edge of the 6-yard box, gathered by Sophie Dean. Good enterprising stuff there from Renahan, coming forward to defend. Now, can she deliver a cross? She tried to rifle it into the near post. And here is Grace Maher, one of the A-Leaguers who's come to join the Royals. She's had her shirt tugged Referee played advantage. Kelly McGrawdy lurking ominously. The Royals on the charge. Couple of step overs. McGrawdy took a little deflection there. Deloste had to stay alert, and she did.
Wonderful end-to-end play there by Royals, and again, you just can't take your eye off Kelly McGrawdy. She is just such an attacking weapon, and it's just wonderful to come to the Ven tonight to watch her, because she's class. Really good player.
Ball pass from Ashley Jordan. Grace Maher, first time delivery. McGrawdy, this time has she drawn the whistle? Yes. Just lulling the Bulleen defence into the foul, and now a really nice situation here for the Royals to try and construct something that may lead to an equalising goal.
I think Caitlin Friend will be rather frustrated. There's nothing worse than a square pass, because square passes get picked off. And that time, that's exactly what the Royals did, and played the ball straight into McGrawdy's feet. And now, right on the 40th minute of the game. Could it be 2-2, Brent?
They're having a staff meeting here over the ball. Essendon. This strikes me as Grace Maher territory. She did score from a corner kick in the quarter-final against Alamein. Anxious moments here for the home side. It's Grace Maher. Oh, yes! The Essendon Royals come roaring back into this semi-final from 2-0 down to 2-2, and with 5 minutes to go until half-time. Grace Maher with a set-piece stunner. And it's game on in the Nike FC Cup semi-final here at the Veneto Club.
What a wonderful free kick taken by Grace Maher, with her left foot curled it in. Alyssa DeLoss couldn't do anything about that. That was one of the tallest walls I've seen for a long time ago. Maya Markovsky, Aliadis, all there, and she still managed to get it up and over, and fantastic goal, and what a game we have here.
FC Bulleen Lions 2, Essendon Royals 2. Bulleen on the march immediately. Danny Buttress brought down in the box. Referee waves the penalty shout away. The tension's rising again. And this time a foul one. Oh, look out. Paige Kingston-Hogg just having a bit of a chat with Danny Buttress, who's got a smile on her face. It's all part of the fun. Danny knows that. And Grace Maher with her third goal for the Essendon Royals. A big one to set things up very nicely as we head for half-time. Cortolino buzzing forward again. She gets past Akeisha Sanders, just behind Ashley Jordan. Maya Markovsky unable to get herself clear. And then speaking of clear, it's cleared by Balasuids. Back in by Miocic. Markovsky had one eye on the ball and one eye on the assistant referee on the far side. It's ended up back in the gloves, the grateful gloves of Sophie Dean.
I think there's a real chance there for Bulleen to go 3-2 up just prior to half-time, as again we see players streaming forward for Essendon Royals. I've got a feeling we're going to get another goal here before half-time, Brent. Both teams are really keen to attack.
We had a 4-goal thriller through the first 42 minutes. Bulleen led 2-0, goals to Miocic and Markovsky, and Essendon have come right back into the game with 2 goals of their own. Parkinson and Bronte Peel swings in the cross. Aliadis a little bit more forthright with that clearance, although it had to be helped on its way by Brightus. Sandu and Cortolino again. Aliadis with an own goal, and Grace Maher with the set piece just moments ago to draw us level in this semi-final. Markovsky, a quick recovery after going down. Renahan's happy enough to earn a throw in on the far side. Cortolino. This time Akeisha Sandu is able to win some points Been a great battle out on that far side of the pitch. We'll hopefully see that battle migrate over to this near side in the second half, as there's a foul going the way of the Royals. And the first yellow card as well of the evening, going to Eliadis, who's had an interesting first half. She'll have to walk the tightrope now for, well, at least another 45 minutes, maybe more.
And as I mentioned earlier, with the class of the attacking players in both teams, sitting on a yellow card for 45 minutes when you're a centre-back playing against Kelly McGroarty, that would be a nervous moment.
McGroarty and Brightus, mid-air collision. Ma and Koizumi. Koizumi, a little bit too fierce for the acrobatic Kelly McGroarty, and too fierce as well for Bronte Peel. Into the final minute of this very entertaining first half in this Nike FC Cup semi-final. The winner progresses to the final to play Heidelberg United at the home of the Matildas. The first Saturday in August. Miocic a little bit unhappy with herself there. 1 minute of stoppage time added on. 2 minutes, excuse me. Well, the way this first half has been going, that's plenty of time for one of these two teams to snatch the lead at the break. Butcher stepping in, telegraphing the pass. Miocic plays it off the back of the electric Bulleen winger. I think that's a smile and not a grimace on the face of Danny Buttress.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a giggle.
Come close to a third goal for Bulleen, rattling the upright. Oh, brilliant through the legs of Koizumi. And then trying to go through Seward with blunt force. She's a tough midfielder, though, Seward, and she sends Grace Maher on her way. McGroarty makes the run. A little touch to take herself clear, and McGroarty, for the second time in this first half, wins a free kick for the Royals right on the edge of the penalty area, almost in the exact spot that Grace Maher scored from about 6 or 7 minutes ago.
I think Tiff Eliadis, Brent, really had a heart in the throat there. I was a bit worried that Lucas was reaching to his back pocket to pull out a red because she's sitting on a yellow. It was not a clear goal-scoring opportunity, but sometimes in these sort of games, the players are on edge, referees and officials also can be sometimes on edge, and I was a bit nervous for Tiff that the red card may have been brandished.
So Bulleen building the tall wall again. This free kick's probably a yard or two closer than the last opportunity that Grace Maher scored from. And here's another yellow card going to another one of the Bulleen players.
Is it Olivia Bomford?
Might have been. They're all sort of on top of one another there.
I think it was Olivia, just for delaying tactics.
And now the set piece to come. Right up against half time. Be Grace Maher again, you would imagine. Grace Maher this time going for the far corner, just disappearing past that far post. And that will do us for an enterprising and incredibly entertaining first half here in this Nike FC Cup semi-final. Bulleen built their 2-goal lead. They scored from the first corner kick of the game. Claudia Miocic with a tap in at the near post after being assisted by Maya Markovski. And then the second goal coming a little while later through Maya Markovski, and then the Royals, who have they'd be pretty happy with that first half performance, despite the fact that they were down 2-0. They had an own goal scored by Tiffany Eliadis, and then a peach of a free kick turned in by Grace Maher from just outside the penalty box. And at half-time, we are where we started, and we are set up for a very exciting second half here at the Veneto Club, and maybe more. Brent Sternberg and Sven Samold here with you on the Football Victoria YouTube page. And at half-time at the Veneto Club in this Nike FC Cup semi-final, it is FC Bulleen Lions 2, Essendon Royals 2. Welcome back, everybody. We are set for a very enticing second half here at the Veneto Club. After an enthralling first 45 minutes, FC Bulleen Lions and Essendon Royals are locked at 2-2. Bulleen did lead 2-0 inside 11 minutes. And then the Royals with 2 goals of their own to get themselves right back into the match. Brent Sternberg and Sven Samold here with you. We have had one change at half-time for the home side. Madison Rakic has come in to replace Ashley Jordan. Essendon Royals have the same 11 that started the match. So 45 minutes to decide who will play Heidelberg United in the Nike FC Cup final. If they are still locked at the end of the 90, we will play another half an hour, and potentially penalties. Are both these two teams well versed in the shootout, or they should be now after triumphing in the quarterfinals. The Royals are on the attack early. Bronte Peel, who was ever present in the first half, into the byline, cut back. McGrawdy lurking. The ball went out of play, so we'll get a goal kick. Just a thought on that change. So Jordan out for Matty Rakic. Sven, what do you think Caitlin Friend has seen there?
I'd be surprised if there wasn't some sort of injury, because Matty Rakic is a wonderful right back, and she hasn't played for a few weeks. And good to see her back playing, as we have our referee Lucas just stopping the game due to a bit of a head knock.
Yeah, Lucas Benicia is the man in the middle. I think it's Koizumi who was on her haunches at one stage in that first half. So just to tie off all the loose ends, 2 players out there on yellow cards, Tiffany Aliadis and the other one, Olivia Bomford. So those 2 players have begun the second half out there. We'll wait and see how deep they go into the 90. It's Cortolino unable to maintain possession. Grace Marr, that wonderful free kick late on in that first half to get the Royals back on an even keel here at the Veneto Club. Sewards, and rolling forward is Parkinson. Touch just got away from her. Come back fortuitously. Peel and Koizumi. Parkinson at the touchline on that far side. Fizzes it in. McGrawdy, glancing header. Rakic's first effort of the night is to clear only as far as Kingston Hogg. Both these teams, 2 goals in the first half, and they both rattled the frame of the goal as well. Danny Buttress for Bulleen and McGrawdy, a long-range effort. The midway stages of that first half cannoned off the crossbar. As we've got Bulleen player going down here now. I think that is Danny Buttress. We did make mention in the first half that she looked like she wasn't moving entirely freely. Could they be forced into a second change here, Bulleen?
Without doubt. I think Nikki Furuwaka is warming up. Buttress seemed to have a knee injury, and it makes me think even more Jordan Rakic swap in a game that could go to 120 minutes was more an injury. I would be really shocked to think, knowing that they had Buttress potentially with a knee, that they would have gone to that change that early in the game. But a bit of a hammer blow, I think, for Bulleen. Someone, the calibre of Buttress, just her attacking play has been outstanding tonight, but they don't lose too much, being respectful to both players. I think Nikki coming on gives them, again, super pace, the ability to score goals. And this time last year, I think she scored the winner by our recollection for South Melbourne versus Bulleen, coming onto the ground as a substitution. So may that happen for a new club. Would make Caitlin Friend and her teammates very happy indeed.
Yes, in that semi-final, I mentioned it just before kick-off earlier tonight. She was the villain. Well, they were the villain, I should say, Nikki Furukawa. So it's going to be a second change here for Bulleen. They've lost both of their wingers that started the match, Ash Jordan and Danny Buttress, now out of the game. They have used Buttress sparingly so far this season, so you've got to sort of think that they maybe are nursing her through some sort of an ailment. They felt the need to start her tonight because it's a big game and you want your best players playing, but let's hope that that's nothing really serious for Danny as she exits this match early into the second half. Big loss for Bulleen in any case. Markovski. Head up. Bomford has that yellow card hanging over it. Markovski flicks it out. Here's Maddie Rakic. And Cortolino.
Brent, maybe the yellow card also forced Katie Friend to readjust her centre-backs. Now she's got Kat Renahan, partner with her captain, Claudia Minahoc, and Rakic to right back, and Tiff's gone up top to play with Maya Markovski, Cortolino, and now Nikki.
Perhaps to get her out of harm's way to some respect. Yep.
I think so. It's a long time as a centre-back to be playing on a yellow card, particularly against the quality of Kelly McGroarty.
Well, they have been doing that with Eliadis the last few matches, and certainly in that game against Box Hill in the quarterfinal, starting her in the middle of the back four and then moving her forward. On that particular night in the quarterfinal, it was more out of necessity and just reaching for that goal that they needed to stay alive in the cup. As Kelly McGroarty's been played onside here. Dangerous times here for Bulleen. Kelly McGroarty, the step over, the strike, and hits the frame of the goal for the second time tonight, McGroarty. You couldn't believe it. As Kingston Hogg is unable to retrieve it, and away by Garron.
To be fair, I can believe it. South Melbourne did that 4 times last night, and we didn't concede a goal in the semi-final. So they've got 2 more times to catch up to South Melbourne, which is sometimes the luck you need.
Yep. Well, you ride your luck, don't you, in the cup competition?
No, you do indeed.
Rakic and Ma getting entangled. Ma comes away with it. Advantage was paid. McGroarty again. Kelly McGroarty right across the goal mouth and agonisingly wide. But Kelly McGroarty has come into the game in the early minutes of this second half.
What a player. What a player she is, Kelly. She has speed, she has strength, she can't be knocked off the ball. Her strength through her core must be wonderful. And she's posing real problems here for Bulleen currently.
And I know that she will have family back in the United States up bright and early watching this cup final, hoping that Kelly can have her say in this second half. So Jurcic is going to track this one down. She's certainly been a lot more present than she was in the quarterfinal against Alamein. We know how good Alamein are defensively. They've got those 2 centre-backs in Leokopoulos and Shadara as well, who I thought played the threat of McGroarty terrifically well. McGroarty, she really had that one chance in the second half in the regulation 90 where she actually hit the frame of the goal as well. That was really only her only real moment, her only bright moment of that quarterfinal. Ball slices on through just a little bit overhit. She did score against Bulleen in their league game a couple of weeks ago. As mentioned earlier, was suspended when the Royals made the trip here earlier this season and lost 3-1. Cortolino gets the better of Sandu. A little bit of a fumble and a stumble. Away by Kendra Smith and Ma. Kingston Hogg turning and honouring the run here of Parkinson, who is a Royal right back who loves to get forward. McGroarty unable to maintain possession. Kingston Hogg ends up back on the turf.
The battle in the midfield between Bomford, Bridus, Kingston Hogg and Sewards is one that is really exciting to watch because they like driving with the ball, they like playing beyond. They'll play to feet if they have to. And I think it'll really go a long way to decide this game.
Lovely ball there from Cortolino. Here's Maddie Rakic, a new opponent for Sandu to watch and stalk. Eliadis intercepted well by Koizumi, who scurries away and draws the foul. We look across the Royals bench, they've got plenty of attacking options. We mentioned Maggie Jenkins a couple of times in the first half, but they've got Emma Langley, who's a veteran and has scored many goals in the Chanel NPLW Victoria down the years. Ava Grober, who scored on the weekend. And Kobe Wilbert, more of a defensive-minded midfielder, but plenty of attacking options still at the disposal of Royals manager Jaden van der Heijden.
You mentioned Emma Langley. What a wonderful person she is, and one of those players in the NPLW that everyone respects so greatly. I'd love to see her out in the pitch. I don't think Katie Friend and her team would like to see a score, but another quality footballer, quality person, and you've got the likes of Maggie Jenkins too. They have some real firepower on that bench.
Emma, at 29-year-old, only her second season at the Royals, a long time Calder United player, and then at Box Hill and Heidelberg United too. Originally from Tassie, Northern Rangers Football Club. We've played nearly 56 minutes here at the Veneto Club, and we are no closer to knowing who will be advancing to the final to take on Heidelberg United. Of course, the Burgers looking to go one better this year. They've made the final for the second consecutive year, lost out to South Melbourne on penalties 12 months ago.
My psychologist will thank you for the appointment I'll have to book. Still thinking about that, Brent.
I've noticed that Sven has just got a nervous twitch every time he sees Akeisha Sandu, because she was the one that scored that decisive penalty in the shootout. Renahan out for Maddie Rakic, a player that loves to cut inside every chance she gets. Here's Bomford.
Very much a frustrated midfielder is Maddie Rakic. I think she would absolutely love Caitlin to move her magnet and put her in the midfield.
I remember she played a lot there when she was at Bentley or Bayside United, as they were at the time. I called her a lot a few years ago. Kingston Heath. Royals challenging time here, trying to get it out from the back. Koizumi's able to do so. And Parkinson's on her way. And Bronte Peel rolling forward. Only McGrawdy in the box. Bronte Peel into the penalty box. The cutback. Kingston Hogg scores for the Royals. A slashing move down the right-hand channel. And for the first time tonight, the girls from the Cross Keys lead in the semi-final. Paige Kingston Hogg's first goal of the season. And just before the hour mark, the Royals lead. FC Bulleen Lions 2, Essendon Royals 3.
What a fantastic run by Bronte Peel. Took on her direct opponent in a key duel, beat her, crossed the ball, as we mentioned in the first half, low and hard. They weren't able to clear it, the Bulleen defenders. And it's always that second runner, the third runner, the ball bobbles out to, and what a great finish by Kingston Hogg.
So that's her first goal in a Royals shirt. She's come down to join the Royals this season from Maitland Footy Club in the Northern New South Wales League. Great build-up play. They looked like they were having trouble getting out from the back, and then it was that pass from Koizumi that found Parkinson. And Bronte Peel, it's just felt all night like she was going to have a decisive moment. And it comes just before the hour mark. And the Royals can see themselves. They can see their own reflection at the home of the Matildas in the final in 3 weeks' time. And there is movement on the Essendon bench. Sorry, Sven, go on.
I was going to say it is Maggie Jenkins who's just taken the warm-up shirt off and put the 17 Royals shirt on. So potentially a double change by Jaden, but definitely Maggie Jenkins is warming up, which will lift the crowd. There was a bit of a talk at half-time over at the canteen. Why wasn't she starting? Will she come on and when? It looks like it's going to be the 60th minute that she may be injected into this game.
What a touch from McGrawdy, and Grace Maher is offside. Much to the displeasure of the Royals crew in and around us. I think Kobe Wilbert is the other player who is readying herself to come on. Every time I call Kobe, I have to refer to her as the girl from Ballarat.
No.
Us Ballarat folks stick together, Sven, you know that?
No, she's a real talent, and her mum's a great person, and passionately supports Kobe, and she'll be pleased to see her daughter coming on.
So it'll be the attacking-minded Maggie Jenkins for the defensive-minded Kobe Wilbert. Bronte Peels trying to just barge her way through, loses out to Ava Brightus. Bulleen have the game to chase now. Bomford lofts it into the box, away by Kendra Smith. Winding up on the volley for Furukawa. It just goes up and down and lands in the gloves of Sophie Dean.
The question is, Brent, who's going to come off and where are they going to play both Maggie and Kelly? It's going to be a two-pronged attack.
Pass goes awry here. Markovski, oh, saved awkwardly by Sophie Dean, but she's done the trick. It's just a little lesson there for the Royals. They can't switch off one little error. They've got plenty of players, Bulleen, that can pounce. Very lucky there. I just thought for a moment like that might be about to disappear up in the top left-hand corner. And Sophie Dean pushing it away. The Essendon Royals teenage goalkeeper, 19 years of age, won't turn 20 until November. The Essendon Royals substitutions prepare themselves. We're about to learn who will make way. And then Sven will cast his eye over the Essendon Royals team and see if there's a change-up in the formation. It's Bulleen attacking here with a throw-in adjacent to the 18-yard box. Furukawa unable to stay onside. Does that pave the way for this double substitution? Indeed it does. So the goal scorer, Paige Kingston-Hogg, is being removed. She will be replaced by Kobe Wilbert. And coming off also for the Royals, number 20, Kendra Smith, the centre-back for Maggie Jenkins. Paige Kingston-Hogg will go back to the bench and become a spectator like the rest of us, and she hopes that it's her goal that will separate these two ultimately and send the Royals into the Nike FC Cup final. At the moment, that is how things are situated. Looks like Grace Maher might have gone into the centre-back position alongside Michaela Jurcic. And Wilbert alongside Ayana Koizumi as the two insurance players, midfielders in front of that back four. And Jenkins replacing Grace Maher out on the left. Maggie Jenkins, her first game back for the Royals since playing for New Zealand. Here she is. Lofting one forward for Kelly McGrawdy. Garon able to get there first. Bulleen, we remind you, have made two forced changes, we think, due to injury, so they're a little bit limited with what they're able to do in terms of their substitutions. Rakic chases it all the way into the corner. Can't do anything too creative with the pass. Jenkins, brilliant. Thrilled the crowd already. Wilkinson happy to just take stock. What do you make of those two changes, Sven, for the Royals?
Maybe it's the pace still of Bulleen being a bit of a worry for Jaden. So by putting Grace Maher, they've got someone who's far more fluid in movement. With Tiff Aliadis going forward, I only can think that. Maggie Jenkins just put her on the park.
Yeah.
And you could tell from the crowd, everyone is here to come and see her play. Kingston Hogg's probably stiff because it was a fantastic finish, and I thought her battle in the midfield with Bomford had been breaking even at worst. I thought she was better than that. So her coming off, she probably might feel a bit stiff, but they needed to get Smith on. You can't take off Bronte Peel. You can't take off McGrory. So someone had to be sacrificed. But going the other way, Kobe Wilbert coming in as another 6. Maybe it's to protect the lead long term.
Kobe Wilbert's on the ball here. Bronte Peel. And the ball in. McGrory lurking. Kelly McGrory scores for the Royals, who, after having been in a 2-goal hole, have turned things right round in the semi-final. And Kelly McGrory, that's a goal that will be heard and felt right across the other side of the world. It is Kelly McGrory's 27th goal of the season. And is that the goal to send Essendon Royals into the Nike FC Cup final?
Brent, the one thing for Bulleen, we've still got, in regular time, another 25 minutes. Can they pull back too? Of course they can. But now this is where the injury to Buttress is going to start hurting them a little bit, I believe.
They showed how much character and how much resilience they have in their locker when they come back from the dead against Box Hill United in the quarter-final. The offside flag is up here on Furukawa. They come from behind multiple times on that famous, iconic night at Wembley Park. They're going to have to do so again here if they are to reach the final of the Nike FC Cup for the 7th time. They've had a very good record down the years, Bulleen, in the semi-finals. Of course, the final has been a little bit cruel to them. Played in 6 cup finals and come back to the Veneto Club empty-handed on 4 occasions. There's Jenkins, dazzling stuff. Oh, the referee had a decision to make there, and Lucas Benicia waves it away. He thought the contact was inconsequential. What say you, Sven Samuel?
Oh, listen, I rate Lucas really highly, but thankfully there's no VAR here tonight. But listen, I back the referee, who's far closer than myself to that contact, but I think Coach Jaden for Essendon Royals will be very, very disappointed that Lucas didn't point to the spot. That's the bit of luck the Bulleen needs, I think, because they've still got the likes of Cleo Angel, who I think is a fantastic young player. I'd like to see her injected into the game. And Caitlin's also got Nia Sala, who's a proven player. So they're going to make a change right now, actually.
This is Nia Sala coming on to replace Alana Cortolino, who probably had her best moments in the first half. Cortolino, but Nia Sala's going to replace her here. I thought she was one of their best players when I called Bulleen's 1-0 victory over Bentley a couple of weeks ago. She's a player that has to bide her time on the bench sometimes. It's a tough team to get into, especially if you're a player that plays at the pointy end of the pitch. Markovsky, of course, and Buttress returning. All the other names that we've mentioned. Jordan, Cortolino as well. Well, they have 22 minutes in the regulation 90, Bulleen, to try and turn this one around. Remembering they led 2-0 after just 11 minutes. Two of the highest scoring teams in the league this season have given us a 6-goal thriller through the first 70 minutes. Still time for some more twists. Rakic with the throw in. Seward's bypassing the referee. Ball played forward. Maggie Jenkins is onside. Carries it into the 18-yard box. And towards the back stick. The clearance straight up and down. Bronte Peel on the volley. Didn't get too much of it. And it ricochets around and eventually the Lost is able to gather. Another heart-in-mouth moment there, though, for Bulleen defensively. Eliadis, does she have some more cup magic in her boots?
Looks like Essendon, going to prepare another substitution, Brent.
This is Ava Grober. Made her 100th league appearance on the weekend and scored in that win over Keilor Park. So another attacking-minded player. Here's Nia Sala. And Brightus. You see the Essendon players in lockstep in their defensive grid, and it's forced a turnover.
Brent, you can hear the Essendon players out in the pitch really supporting each other loud. We've got a lot of juniors in the crowd who are loud and supporting, and some of the Bulleen players getting a little frustrated at the moment. Being 2-0 up, sometimes the worst spot to be in football, and to go from 2-0 up to 4-2 down is highly frustrating as we see the change being made now.
So Bronte Peel's night is over after 71 electric minutes. She's going to be replaced by former club captain in Ava Grober. Of course, she was the captain of the Royals in their first season in the top division back in 2024. Former Calder United junior. Has been in and around the A-League mix as well. Was a train-on player a few years ago with Western United. Furukawa trying to slip away from Akeisha Sandhu. Those two players were teammates at South Melbourne last year and lifted the trophy together. Sorry, I keep bringing it up, Sven.
It's all right.
At the moment, it looks like it will be Heidelberg United and the Essendon Royals, who are on the march again. Kelly McGordy slips through Ava Grober, who has just come into the game. Ava Grober fires at the near post. And Deloste saw it the whole way.
Interestingly there, Ava didn't back herself. I think she could have kept driving towards Alyssa Deloste. She kept looking up to see where Kelly and Maggie were for the cross, and in the end, not having numbers in the box, she's taken a shot that is a bit more at range. If she got a bit closer, she could open up the angle and put a fifth one into the goal for Essendon Royals.
Well, they're the team sitting on this 2-goal lead, and they're also the team that look like scoring next. The Royals, every time they go forward. McGrady. Wilberts after the error from Bomford. This is Maggie Jenkins, who was not anticipating the pass. Grace Marr all the way back. Sophie Dean. Oh, it's a nervy old clearance. It's been salvaged here by Akeisha Sandhu. So no harm, no foul there for the Royals keeper. Sandhu brought down by Ava Brightus. He might have just left a little piece in there on the Essendon Royal veteran. No foul, just a throw in right in front of us. Akeisha Sandhu, who was sent off actually when the Royals came here to play Bulleen in the league. She still thinks it's a foul, Akeisha. Just a throw in, says the referee, Lucas Panicia. Creeping towards the final quarter hour. Bulleen living now on a wing and a prayer. Eliadis. Brightest. Rakic for Bulleen. Furukawa makes the run. Rakic trying to bend it in behind. Grace Maher shields it all the way through to the goalkeeper. So goals in the 58th minute to Paige Kingston-Hogg. And just 8 minutes later in the 66th minute, Kelly McGrorty with the second half goals for Essendon after the scores were locked at 2-2 at half-time. And that is the state of play here at the Veneto Club.
More seeing it unfold before me, the move of Grace Maher to centre-back by Jaden has paid dividends. She's really composed when she's on the ball.
Wilbert finding Sandu. Koizumi trying to carry it as far as she can before she's forced to make the pass. Shot from distance from McGrorty. Deflection. Away by Ava Brightis. It's the 6th consecutive season that Bulleen are in the semi-finals of the Cup. I mentioned that they've had a great record in the semi-finals. They've won 6 of their previous 9 semis. At the moment, they are staring down the barrel. That one trickles behind for a goal kick.
We've got the Bulleen players warming up behind the goal, so Caitlin can go to that bench. It'll be just interesting what she can do to do it differently, because at the moment, Essendon Royals seem to have all the answers and all the composure to look after this 2-goal buffer.
A couple of players that we haven't seen too much of in this second half for Bulleen, and Markovski's been rather quiet. McGrorty. Grover appears on the right wing now for the Royals. Overlap run comes from Parkinson. Grover wants to come a little bit more centrally. Got a second go with the pass. McGrorty tangled up with Renahan. And Bulleen's clearance. Not much of a clearance. It went sideways. Rakic. Defensive duties. Given away by Furukawa. Wilbert. Grover. Trying to find a shooting angle. Ava Grover retreating. Wilbert, not a player that shoots for goal all too often. McGrorty. Can't find Sewards. Garon, though, overwhelmed. Good work there from Bomford. Back at the referee, thought she might have earned a foul. And so the Royals' attack continues. Here's Ava Grover once again. Jenkins putting her body on the line to maintain possession for Essendon. Maggie Jenkins getting in behind Rakic. Jenkins fires it into the back post. It's a little bit too tall for Ava Grover. Slippery Nia Sala. Very nice work. Opens up the pitch. Eliadis for Furukawa. Bulleen must score here and now. Furukawa wanders to the edge of the box. And I think it was a cross-come shot in the end. Markovski couldn't make a play at. Sophie Dean, a comfortable save.
What Essendon Royals are doing so well, Brent, is not only draining the minutes by having so much of the football, but they're putting so much pressure on Bulleen. It makes it hard for them just physically to continually to work at a high rate, to be able to capitalise when they do turn over the ball, to make a something out of nothing scoring opportunity. So hats off to the Essendon Royals players, because they're consistently wanting to win the ball back and to attack, and it's just so draining on these Bulleen players.
And they've managed these last 15 minutes or so expertly well, Essendon. As we head towards the final 10 minutes, just 10 minutes of diligent football required for the Royals. they can have a cup final to look forward to. Of course, they did make the final of the Nike FC Community Cup in 2023. So they have made a cup final as a part of the Nike FC Cup before, but they haven't made the final of the major competition. Of course, they don't qualify for the Community Cup that we now know as the Steph Catley Plate, because they are not a team that play below the top division. At the time in 2023 they were. Koizumi brought down. The play goes on. Jenkins, byline coming quickly back in towards the penalty area. And away by Mircic. Koizumi again is attracting the attention of referee Lucas Benicia.
I think it's fantastic. Football Victoria has named that tournament and trophy after a wonderful Victorian, a wonderful Matilda, Steph Catley. We have Caroline Springs, George Cross playing Craigieburn City in that final, which will be on Saturday the 1st of August, prior to the Nike FC Cup final.
Brightus's long ball, hoping for the run of Niasella. Of course, don't forget the Georgies looking to defend that title after beating Manningham United in the plate last year. Another match that went to penalties for Furukawa. Gracemar wins the foot race against Markovski. And they are certain that ball went behind last off the defender, but our assistant referee on the near side points instead for a goal kick.
I've been watching Caroline Springs George Cross quite a bit because there's a quality French player there, Christelle Grandferry.
Yep.
Yeah, no, wonderful player, and it'd be interesting to see if an MPLW club doesn't step up and take her, because she is class.
Stewards and Mijicic in a midfield battle here. Goes the way of the captain for tonight, of Bulleen, who gave Bulleen the lead after just 6 minutes tonight, after getting on the end of a piece of work from Markovski from a corner kick. It feels a long, long time ago now. When they went 2 goals up, Bulleen, some of us might have been thinking, oh, this could be a long night for Essendon. You know, they've fallen to Bulleen twice already in the league this season, but what a tremendous performance it has been from the ladies from the Cross Keys.
Just their game management here, their ability to drain the clock and the legs of their opponents by continually holding onto the ball, particularly in their attacking half, makes it really hard, and it's professional play by the likes of Sandu and Ma.
Haven't really given Bulleen a sniff, have they?
No, they've just, again, not having Sarah Kane has probably hurt FC Bulleen Lions.
Parkinson can't get that one beyond Garon. Once again, ball back into midfield, controlled by the Royals midfielders. Grover. Parkinson continues her run, flashes it into the box. Oh, McGrady did ever so well to nip in ahead of the attacker, the defender I should say, and turn it towards the goal, but ultimately just wide. So here comes Emma Langley in replace of Bella Seward. It was her penalty that ultimately got the Royals into the semi-finals. It's looking like they are not going to need to endure the drama of a shootout tonight, unless we had a dramatic late twist or two. So on comes Emma Langley to take her place out on the wing for the Royals. Bulleen coming forward. Parkinson's defensive header made it a little awkward, and then rides the challenge of Niasella, who does well just to be present in that contest and force a corner kick.
You said before, Brent, if Bulleen were to get back in, they need to score and score now. I think we can repeat that statement, because if they don't score here, it's going to be a long way away to get back into the game.
Nia Sellers, right foot in swinger. They're all lined up at the goal line. And Markovski, it come back to her. Bomford's trying to poke it through. And eventually emerging from the rubble with the ball in her keeping is Sophie Dean.
She's done very well to get her body between the ball and the line. There was some repeat efforts there by Bulleen, and just couldn't bundle the ball into the goal.
Now the Royals are attacking again. Jenkins out for Ava Grober. Does she go herself here, Ava? She's trying to get past the defender, Garon. Stood her up rather well. Parkinson, like her game out at right back. Amy Parkinson.
Having Buttress come off early would have been a little bit of a relief for Amy, because playing against someone with that speed and that quality is a difficult task, and it's been made far easier for her with that injury.
And Furukawa knocked over by Akeisha Sandu, and now a yellow card. The referee Lucas Bonaccia thinking that was not a denying of a clear goal scoring opportunity, which I think is a generous call.
Oh.
Just laying down the law and explaining himself. Lucas, what did you make of that one, Sven?
Well, when we played Clifton Hill in the first minute of play, we had one a little bit closer, to be fair, to Lucas, to the penalty box. And our wonderful captain, Rosie Wild, was shown a straight red. I'm not saying that should have been a straight red, because the goal-scoring opportunity, is well outside the box. But I've seen reds given for things like that. But I think it was the right decision by Lucas.
Another set-piece chance here for Bulleen. Bomford clips it in. Mijicic is there. Good goalkeeping from Sophie Dean. It bounced awkwardly a yard or two in front of her, and they stave off another attacking chance there from Bulleen. 3 minutes to play in the regulation 90. Good work from Langley. Rakic will come into the match at half-time in place of Ashley Jordan. Garon. Long ball forward. It's going to get away from Markovski, who may have been in an offside position in any case. I can't imagine we're going to have too much time added on at the end of the 90 either. We haven't had too many stoppages. We've had the 2 goals, of course. No other real lengthy delays outside of those 2 moments.
In these last 3 minutes, Brent, Bulleen have had 2 chances, and any other day they may have scored both of those. And just that luck that they just haven't had this evening. You mentioned Markovski, not being as much of the play. I think there's been a real disconnect between the defenders and the attackers in this second half. And again, not having Sarah Kane to partner Bomford has made it really hard for Bulleen.
Well, if it's going to happen now for Bulleen, it's in the miracle category. The referee just making sure that the Royals aren't taking too much time to get play underway. McGrawdy's acrobatic header. It was Paige Kingston-Hogg's goal that put the Royals in front for the first time, and then only 8 minutes later, Kelly McGrawdy with her name on the score sheet again. I think she's only failed to score once in the past 9 matches now across both the league and cup competitions.
What a wonderful stat to have as a player. That's something you can put in your scrapbook. It's outstanding.
Koizumi able to win the foul. And it's the Essendon folk around us who are at full throat right now. They're just starting to have a look on their Google Maps, and where is the home of the Matildas? How do we get there? How far is it from the cross keys? Well, they know full well where it is. They've been there and lifted silverware before. Long ball in, brought down by Jenkins, shot blocked.
What a first touch by Maggie Jenkins there. That was his class.
Koizumi takes it away from Bomford. Rakic in tight for Brightus, who skips away. We wait to see how much time added on at the end of the 90. 5 minutes. Bulleen must score twice in those 5 minutes to send this game to extra time.
Essendon Royals got far too much experience on the park not to manage this game. They'll just suck the life out of it by playing as slowly as they possibly can.
Bulleen on the attack here. Niasala striking from distance. And Sophie Dean is watching that one drift away. And behind, nothing more than a goal kick. So it looks like it's going to be Heidelberg United and the Essendon Royals meeting one another in the Cup final for the first time. It'll be a new matchup pairing. Royals, in fact, have never played Heidelberg United in the Cup. And their dream of a double, league and cup double this season, Essendon still alive. Jenkins, Kelly McGrawdy. Time for a second, perhaps. The back heel, and Jenkins fires that one high over the bar.
They've just got so many scoring options, Essendon Royals, with the class of McGrawdy, Jenkins, the work rate of Peel, Grober. What an attack.
Here's Tiffany Eliadis, overwhelmed by the red shirts in front of her. Langley wants to turn back to the goalkeeper. Sophie Dean. Clearance coming together there. Koizumi's ended up on her back again. Play goes on in the background on the far side. Parkinson blasts it forward, and the fresh legs of Ava Grober will win the foot race against Garon. Swings it into the 18-yard box. Jenkins can retrieve. Not heading for the corner. Going for the jugular. Oh, poor clearance from Renahan. And McGrawdy fires it straight at the ankles of Deloste. And McGrawdy is denied her second goal.
You're right, Brent. There's no hint of going to the corner flag to waste valuable seconds, minutes even. They're looking to score extra goals. And that says a lot about their mentality at the moment. And when you've got players who have that mentality that they want to score as many as they can possibly can at any given time, that's when it's a joy to coach. You just can't wait to jump out of the car, coach a group of players like Jaden has assembled here. Hats off to him and the Essendon Royals committee and their players, because it's been very, very impressive.
It's been one of their great victories since re-emerging as a top flight team. Bulleen have had their number twice this season, but the Royals have turned the tables in the Cup semi-final. And you would think that both these teams being at the pointy end of the ladder, it might not be the last time that they play this season as we head for the final stretch of the league campaign. We have played just about the 4 minutes that we were promised. We're in the final 10 seconds or so. Sophie Dean, one last clearance. Garon, Miocic. Bomford. Bulleen will go back to their league endeavours, trying to win the league championship for the first time in 8 years. They can put all their resources into the league now. The Royals will progress to play the Warriors from the Olympic Village in the final at the home of the Matildas. Furukawa. Ava Brightus, who's tried hard in midfield tonight, ends up flat on her face there. Grover brought down by Salah, all getting a little bit untidy and scrappy right at the death.
It's remarkable when you say it like that as a statistic, Brent. You just assume FC Bulleen Lions win the league every second or third year. I can't believe that it's been that long. It just doesn't feel like that, being such a dominant club with a dominant playing list with a wonderful coach.
The final whistle sounds here at the Veneto Club, and the Royals rejoice. The ladies from the Cross Keys are going back to a cup final at the home of the Matildas, where they will take on Heidelberg United. It's one of their great victories here tonight at the Veneto Club. They entered this semi-final as slight underdogs, being the away team and having lost to Bulleen twice in the league this season. And they looked like they were in great peril when they fell down 2-0 inside 11 minutes. And Tiffany Eliadis put the ball in the back of her own net, and then a set piece wonder strike from Grace Marr got the Royals back on level pegging at half-time. And then 2 terrific goals in the second half, a slashing play down the right-hand channel. The Paige Kingston Hog firing the ball down low into the bottom corner on 58 minutes. And then 8 minutes later, of course, it was going to be Kelly McGrorty scoring again. That was goal number 27 on the season. It was a goal that ultimately the Royals didn't need. It was a bit of insurance that Kelly McGrorty scored their fourth and decisive goal. And the Essendon Royals will go to the home of the Matildas on the first weekend of August to play for some silverware, where they will meet two-time cup winners Heidelberg United. Sven Sammold.
Fantastic victory to Essendon Royals. Coach Jaden should be very pleased and proud of his team. And as we mentioned from the get-go, when you have the quality of a Maggie Jenkins to come onto the park at your disposal at any time, it's what other clubs could only dream of. And to be fair, they did start really well, Royals, and you could argue that they were stiff to be 2-0 down, but they were. They held their nerve. They were very thorough in how they played their structures. They didn't rush it, and they've been rewarded with a tremendous 4-2 victory against, again, a very powerful FC Bulleen Lions.
As we cast our mind to the final matchup that we now know, it's an interesting one because you've got the Essendon Royals, who are going great guns in the league. We've mentioned that many times, and their dream for a silverware sweep is still alive now. And then you've got Heidelberg United that Sven maybe won't want to comment on too much, but the Burgers haven't quite been their usual selves in the league this year. Of course, they've been in the grand final in each of the past 2 seasons, and indeed were in the cup final this year, but they're sort of just battling away to even nick maybe that 5th or 6th spot in the finals placings this season. So you don't necessarily have a matchup like what we had tonight, where you've got two title contenders. Can you give me maybe just some sort of a thought as we cast our mind to the final pairing, Sven?
Well, if you look at it last year, South Melbourne didn't make the finals, finished outside the finals and were sort of in the middle of the table. They had great class, worked away, just didn't get their luck, had injuries at the wrong time, but went on to win the Nike FC Cup final against Heidelberg, who were on top, finished on the top by quite a few points more than any other club. So will history repeat? We'll have to encourage all the viewers on the Football Victoria YouTube channel to head out to the home of the Matildas to see what will be a cracking game between, I think, the favourites, Essendon Royals, versus the underdogs, Heidelberg United.
Heidelberg, of course, former winners, and the Royals looking to get their name on the trophy for the first time. Well, we didn't need the drama of extra time or penalties here tonight, gang, but we had plenty packed into the 90 minutes, and we enjoyed it very much. The Essendon Royals progressing. Took 3 goes, but they've beaten Bulleen finally this season, and they will take their place in the cup final against Heidelberg United, which you will be able to watch, of course, on the Football Victoria YouTube channel. It'll be a big day for women's football. We'll have the Steph Catley plate between Caroline Springs, George Cross and Craigiebird City, and then the big cup final between Heidelberg United and the Essendon Royals. Can't wait for it already. For me, Brent Sternberg and Sven Samuel, who joined me here in commentary tonight. Now, cameraman Sam, thanks for your company. Essendon Royals triumphing tonight, and they will play for some silverware in a few weeks at the home of the Matildas. The final score here in this cup semi-final at the Veneto Club. FC Bulleen Lions 2, Essendon Royals 4.